Why does Cardano's price keep going down? If you're a content creator like me, you've probably seen this in like all of your comments for the past 2 or 3 weeks. Cardano price is down. The past month, Cardano price is down. When is the price going to flip? It also doesn't help that recently we have dropped below 40 cents again. So ADA is right today. You can see around 39 cents per ADA. What is going on with Cardano price? Why is it going down? And what am I looking at on these charts? I want to break down why Bitcoin's going down, how that's pushing Cardano down, what are like all of the altcoins doing, because a lot of them are going down except for a few outliers. And then what is my current perspective on the Cardano price, and when would I change my thesis? There is always a point in time when you should get out of a trade or get out of an ecosystem if price is not there. So I want to tell you when I would do that and what my plan is. Right now, I'm heavily invested in the Cardano ecosystem, and I believe in the Cardano ecosystem. But I do have a point in time where I would exit the ecosystem and exit kind of the gains if this timeline does not show that price and show that products are moving in a good direction. Right now on the Cardano chart, we're going to jump to the Bitcoin chart in just a second. But right now on the Cardano chart, we have a major decision that ADA has to make. Really, the ADA buyers and the ADA sellers are trying to come to an agreement here on what is happening, and it's this right here. What we're looking at here is a 1 month chart. I love to look at monthly charts and weekly charts and really stay away from daily charts or minute charts or hour charts. Those don't really serve my thesis being a long-term swing trader. Days or weeks and months are the best ways to trade, in my opinion, when the chart allows for it. So you basically want to go out to the furthest chart time frame to where you can see RSIs and see MACDs and have that data show up. When you get a chart that's too small and you're trying to use weeks, the data is not there. There's not enough data. So in this scenario, we can use months because Cardano's been around for a few years. But what's happening with ADA right now is a big decision needs to be made. Is ADA going to break upwards or is it going to break downwards? Right now, we're coming into this yellow line right here is a 20-month simple moving average. This orange line is a 50-month simple moving average. There's no data here for a 100-month or a 200-month, although this is what this is set up for. Not enough data. There's not enough months. So this 50-month moving average, in my opinion, is a big point of support for Cardano. And if it cannot hold it, we could be running into some issues with more price downwards. If we take a second and zoom in here, you can see what I'm talking about. This is the decision I think Cardano needs to make. And what I want to see is I want to see ADA hold above this 20-month simple moving average. So right now we have 11 days and 6 hours left in the current month of June. And I think what's going to happen is Cardano's going to slowly push up higher and higher over the rest of June. I think we've had a great little washout here the past couple of days. We've seen it on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on Solana, on Cardano. Every coin is getting pushed downwards a little bit. And so I think that has really, we've retraced quite a bit in this month, in this early part of June. And I think we're going to see Cardano come up over the next few days, the next like 2 weeks that we have left in June, and maintain above this 20-month simple moving average. I think the big red case scenario is if Cardano breaks below this and does not close above the 20-month simple moving average. That is going to be a cause for concern. And basically what I'd want to see is there's two things that can happen. Cardano either closes above the 20-month simple moving average, or it kind of closes halfway between like it is right now. If it closes halfway between like it is right now, then I would want to see July be a month that puts a green candle back above the 20-month simple moving average. If June closes like this, halfway below the 20-month simple moving average, and then July maintains below and closes and finishes below the 20-month simple moving average, I think that is a bad sign for Cardano price. And we can see ourselves come much lower, much down here into the lower 30 cents, higher 20 cents, lower 20 cent range down in here. Okay, so this is the big decision Cardano is making as far as price. I want to see the next week or two bring Cardano back up here to about that 40-cent range. So then we can close above this, and July can push us back up here to about 50 cents. And then August can push us back up here into the 70-cent range. Now, Cardano is fun to talk about, but let's also talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the key to the whole crypto market, essentially. And from Bitcoin, we learn things about the money supply, we learn things about interest rates. All of that funnels, all that data from the economic markets funnels into Bitcoin and then funnels into the rest of crypto. That's what's traditionally happening, and that's what still happens. So if we want to understand Cardano's price, we also need to understand Bitcoin's price. what is happening here on Bitcoin is a solid little accumulation phase. It's been going on for 4 months now. Right here, up here, we can see. And there are a lot of indicators to say that Bitcoin could come down a little bit, even further than it is right now. I don't really think that's what's going to happen. We see Bitcoin get really overextended away from the moving averages in bull markets. And I think Bitcoin has really gotten ahead of itself this cycle, right? Leading up to the halving, it's really been doing well because of the ETFs. It's done really well to maintain that $60,000 to $70,000 range. It seems like a new trading range. And I think until something major happens, right? Based on this chart, I mean, I expect Bitcoin to be overextended from the moving averages. But when you are overextended from a moving average like this, you do have a potential to retrace closer down to that moving averages. Moving averages and price want to get back together. That's their goal. They want to reach back together, and then all of the other moving averages kind of want to move back towards each other. They're trying to get back into synchronization. So when you extend away from price like this, you either got to accumulate a little bit, like we see back here in 2021 before popping up again, or you accumulate and the moving averages move to you, and then you make another decision based on new data. So I think what we're seeing right here, Bitcoin did great. This whole early half of the year, late half of last year, this is like 7 months right here. Bitcoin did really, really well. And right now we are accumulating sideways, waiting for the next leg up, waiting for something to happen in the market, right? June and July are kind of that summer slump for the post-halving year, right? We kind of cool back a little bit. And I think that is what is happening here in June and July. I would like to prepare for a really awesome August. There's no particular news that's causing Bitcoin to go down or causing Cardano to go down. We're just seeing an accumulation phase in the market, kind of a cool down, not a lot of FOMO, not a lot of hype, and something will have to spark the catalyst again for it to get going. For instance, also back right here, this candle right here, March of 2020 is the last time Bitcoin had a halving before this current halving that we just went through. And you can see on our MACD, it's a little hard to see, but it went red candle, light red candle, light red candle, light red candle, into the green, and then it cooled off with a light green. I think probably the same thing is happening here again. Then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of upwards pressure before a cool down month, and then a continuation. That is what I kind of see Bitcoin's doing. It's just done it a little bit earlier. Instead of doing it post-halving like it traditionally does, people kind of already understood what the halving was going to do. And the cycle of Bitcoin, I think, got a little bit accelerated. But we do see here 5 to 6, 7 months here of upwards pressure, and then a few downwards pressure months, kind of cooling that gain off. That's what we traditionally want to see before the next leg up. I think we can see, green to light green, and then a ton of green candles again on our MACD. And I think our RSI is showing the exact same thing. Let's pull it up here for Bitcoin. When we pull up the RSI for Bitcoin, we do see something like this happening. Back in the last cycle, Bitcoin goes up away from the RSI before pulling back to the RSI moving average and then really overextending itself. We're seeing the same thing this cycle with Bitcoin. It got extended. It's pulling back to the RSI moving average before making the next leg up and getting people that over 100K Bitcoin that they want. So I think all coins are not really struggling, but their price is fluctuating as the price of Bitcoin bounces between 58,000 and 70,000 over these last couple months. I think we're going to have a little summer slump. That's what we're going through. But by August, I would kind of like to see the market start to kind of get ready to gear up again. The last chart I want to show you before jumping back into the ADA side of things is this Cardano Bitcoin chart. People always post this on Twitter. There's been a lot of people that talk about it. The big person that really taught me a lot about the Cardano Bitcoin chart is Benjamin Cowan. He's a big proponent of the Bitcoin dominance theory and Cardano Bitcoin, and a lot of his Cardano videos are about Cardano Bitcoin, right? What he is stating and what I think is actually coming true here, a wiser me would have realized this a year ago, but what is coming true here is Cardano oscillates against Bitcoin. Cardano ADA goes up and goes down and goes back to the same point and down to the same point over the cycles between Bitcoin and ADA. Essentially, in the bear market or at the top of the bull market, you would switch your ADA back into Bitcoin, save, kind of hold your saving power, and then before the bull market really kicks off, like that second wave, you would trade that Bitcoin back into ADA. Bitcoin usually performs best in the bull market at the beginning. ADA performs best at the end. ADA is a short and sweet victory. It is usually late to the game, but then explodes faster than everything else and then kind of cools off before everything else. So it's a really fast thing. That's what happened last cycle. Cardano flipped the switch for like 3 months and did a 2,000% gain and then cooled off and went into its bear market. So what we're seeing here is Down here, you have this range of a high 400 sats to a low 500 sats. And what this means is 400 Satoshis gets you one ADA. That's what this is. One ADA is worth 400 to 500 Satoshis. Up in the top of the bull market in 2021, one ADA could buy you a lot more Bitcoin. So what we see right now is that one ADA buys you far less Bitcoin. Benjamin's theory and kind of what we're seeing here and what I think is going to happen is Cardano is going to continue to go down. It's currently at the upper 500 Satoshis level. It's going to come down here for another month or so down into the lower 500 or upper 400 Satoshi level. Once it does that, then it will be able to kind of start to retrace and gain momentum against Bitcoin. So this is one thing I'm watching. You want to see Cardano come down here, bottom, like it did last cycle in the oscillation before making this massive move that it did last cycle. When Cardano goes up against Bitcoin, essentially Cardano will be outpacing Bitcoin. And so we want to see Bitcoin have another huge leg up so then Cardano can start to outpace it and get its 2,000% gain again. Now, what I was saying with Bitcoin having kind of an early start because of the ETFs and kind of people knowing about the halving, Bitcoin had an early start to the really big pumps, like the first brief part of pumping before the halving this year. Usually it happens after the halving. This time Bitcoin was going at it before the halving. Last cycle, we could see that at the halving, when money was free and flowing, Cardano then started its first leg up before cooling down. Then it went on to do its second leg up as Bitcoin went up again and made its 2,000% return. What I think is happening right now is when Bitcoin made its early rise, Cardano made an early rise. And all this was a little before the halving. Now we're seeing the casual cool off that we saw last cycle, cooling off here in 2024, cooling off here in late 2020, and before the rise up to that massive $3 ADA that we saw. I think what we're seeing here is similar to what we saw back here, just the timing is a little bit off and the amount of volatility is a little bit higher. One thing I also like about this current setup we're seeing on Cardano, based on the Fibonacci's, we are seeing a nice little retracement back to the 786. This line right here that I was talking about with the 20-month simple moving average being at about 39 cents right now, and this zone of support that I've noted here at about 34 cents is it lines up perfectly with the 786 Fibonacci. If you watch other channels that do trading like Dan Gambardello, Benjamin Cowan, you know the 786 to the 618 is an important zone. I would be very shocked if Cardano broke below this 34 cent area. And if it did, I think it would be cause for concern. This is leading us back into this up or down decision that Cardano is making. On the monthly kind of in 2024, it's built a nice little Fibonacci here. And while this looks very small in comparison to everything else, this is a monthly chart. So this is a lot of time and a lot of accumulation. It's a very big macro trend. And I think it's a very, very solid reason for accumulation. You never really want to expect Cardano or any altcoin to break below this. Right now, we're in a time of upwards trajectory in crypto, upwards trajectory with Bitcoin, and that means upwards trajectory with the rest of the altcoin market. I think it would be wrong to bet against in a downward trend and bet against ADA. I think it would be more in line with the market to bet upwards and note that this is a common bottoming point, a common moving average that we have right here, and a common situation of support that is going to hold ADA above 34 cents. So that's what I'd be looking for. This video is getting kind of long, so I want to shorten this down a little bit and kind of wrap it up here for you. But there's two more things I want to answer before we close this video out. We can always make another video if you have more questions about the chart and the price and the analytics. Leave a comment down below and I'd be happy to get to it and watch it and kind of make another video for you in this trading series. But two more things I want you to note here. One, Cardano is moving down right perfectly into the RSI moving average. I think that is a great sign. When I do my long-term swing trades, I try and get as many good indicators together as we can. So far, we've seen that Cardano is moving into the 786 Fibonacci. That's a good sign. So far, it's playing with the 20-month simple moving average. And if it can hold above it or kind of close halfway and then in July close back above it, that's a good sign. The fact that it is kind of in line with what Bitcoin's doing by cooling off a little bit, that's a good sign. And the fact that it hasn't broken all this support, that's a good sign. We also have the fact that Cardano is typically a slow mover compared to some of the other movers like Ethereum and Solana and BNB that usually move much quicker. Cardano is kind of in line with that theory as well. It's come up, it's cooled off in past cycles, it's coming up and it's cooling off again before the next leg up. That is a good sign. Also, we have this RSI that has not broken below its moving average and is hanging on above the moving average, that's a good sign for me. Let's also check the MACD and see what that is telling us. So far for me, this MACD is also a good sign because you can see in past cycles, going into the halving, Cardano was doing the light green candle before going back into a heavy green candle. We can see right here, Cardano is moving from green candle back into light green candle. And my thesis would say that because of all of this evidence, I would expect Cardano to move back into a dark green candle and start to make gains again. We can see that back here in 2020, the blue and orange MACD lines were getting very close, moving very horizontal with each other before breaking out again. We can see this kind of happening again. As long as the blue and the orange kind of maintain where the blue is above the orange, we're still in good signs. And if the MACD and the RSI can kind of hold like this, I think good things are coming for the price of ADA. Now, the second thing I want to touch on, the last thing for this video that I think is very important for you, is when does all of this not matter and when do we get out of ADA as an investment? For me, I would get out of ADA if these things happened. If Cardano were to break down for the end of this year and come all the way down here to like 0.20 cent, down to 20 cents or 22 cents or 24 cents throughout the end of this year. If by 2025 or late 2024, maybe like December, November, we are not pushing up here into the 60, 70, 80, 90 cent range, maybe $1 by then, hopefully. If we're not doing that, I think that is a major sign of underperformance for Cardano. I'm a big Cardano maxi. I got a lot of Cardano native tokens. My whole, like, not all of it, but a large majority of my crypto wealth is in the Cardano ecosystem, which I think is a good thing. I enjoy being in Cardano. I enjoy being in Cardano native assets. I think that there's a very asymmetrical and undervalued bet in those assets. So that's why I'm there. I also love the fundamentals of what Cardano provides to the crypto ecosystem. I love governance. I love staking. I love the way that it does it on Cardano's chain. So this is coming from somebody who is in the Cardano ecosystem, makes Cardano YouTube videos every week, and is here buying NFTs and trading Cardano natives and having a good time. I would get out of Cardano if you do not see this positive price action towards the very late end of 2024 or early 2025. If Cardano is not breaking up here into the 70, 80, 90 cent range, dollar range, by 2025, we are probably in for some trouble. Now, we can analyze the charts then and see really what's going on, but if that action is not happening, Cardano is underperforming, and it's notable that it's underperforming. So I would watch this. My theory is Cardano does not break below 33, 34 cents. If it does, we can have another conversation and see what the metrics are doing and what the price is doing. If Cardano were to break back down here to 25 cents, 24 cents, 22 cents, I think we have a much larger problem and a much bigger question of what is going on, right? While the technology could be there, maybe the price is not there. We've seen that happen with other cryptos. I really don't think that's going to happen with Cardano, but it's something to watch out for, all right? This is my Cardano video on the price. This is what I think is happening. And when people ask me, why is Cardano price only going down? What's going on with Cardano price? Oh, it's broken below 40 cents again. This is my answer. I think we are in a perfect position to have a last little buying zone before taking on the massive gains that I know Cardano can do. This is the chart. This is the way that I'm thinking about it. And this is when I would enter or exit and kind of the things I'm watching over these next couple months. I think by August, you want to see some really good momentum, get us back up into that 50 cent range. And, I think things are going to be really good. All right. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer. I'm putting together a really awesome course to talk about my long-term swing trading thesis and theories. And, I want to give access to people. So keep your eye out for that in subsequent videos. I'll probably start putting a link below in the description about the course. I'm not completely done with the PDFs. I'm not completely done with the course materials. So it's something I'm working on. It's kind of hard to juggle a little bit with the YouTube stuff. So we'll get there when we get there. But keep your eye out for that. I want to raise awareness so you can know that that's coming out for you to use going into this bull market. All right. Have any questions? Let me know. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.